Fable is back after a lot of drama. Anthropic's latest and greatest model is back available for everyone. If you do not know the context and why this is such a hyped up model, it's probably like maybe the most hyped up model Anthropic has ever released. So first of all, Anthropic did the thing that they always do, which is they hyped up the Mythos model that they were building, or they have already built, which is supposed to be this incredible, almost AGI kind of model. And then they were like, "Oh my God, it's too dangerous to release to the world," and like, if it got into the wrong hands, yada yada, and all of that stuff. And then they were like, a couple of weeks later, they're like, but just kidding, we'll give it to you anyway, right? And they sort of like marketed as Fable as sort of like a nerfed version of Mythos. But then the US governors were like, hang on, you just said it was really dangerous, and now you're just like giving it out to everyone. And what if it got into the wrong hands, like, our enemies' hands? Which, America obviously always is about, oh my God, the enemies, but, whatever. So anyway, the US government steps in and is like, hey, no, you can't do that. At the very least, you just got to limit it to only US citizens. And like, obviously, Anthropic has no way of just suddenly banning people who are not US citizens. Like, there's a lot of people in the US who are not fully citizens yet, including people who work at Anthropic, and some of the most famous researchers are not exactly US citizens. So, there's no way for them to do that. So they had to blanket ban Fable across the board. And, it was there for a couple of days. And while it was there, everyone was going crazy about it. And then it went away. Now, of course, Anthropic is working hand in hand with the government to make sure that these models are a little safer. And, there's a whole new paradigm of the US government sort of taking decisions of whether these models should be released to the public, which is an entirely different conversation. But what I want to talk to you about today is just Fable itself. Now that it's out here, is it all that it's hyped up to be? This is supposed to be a step jump over Opus 4.8, which is kind of like state of the art. I'd probably say the best coding model out there, definitely, and if not the best all-round model. Although GPT's latest 5.5 does come very close, and I think 5.6 would beat it. But Fable 5 is supposed to be kind of like a step higher. And so what I want to do in this video is just put it through the test. I have to warn you, if you do have Fable 5 access, then you are going to like see that it draws down usage a lot faster than your regular model. So, you can maybe, the default here is high. I would say if you went up to extra or max effort, this is the reasoning effort. It uses a lot more tokens, and you'll probably end your session in like 30 minutes. But I'm going to see how far we can take Fable 5 here with a couple of tests, and we're going to compare it with Opus 4.5. So test number one is I'm going to have it just create a simulation of the solar system for me. And so we should see it use its artifacts here to create a simulation, and we should be able to sort of. So I'm just going to open up the chain of thought over here, and it is. I did actually want to suggest let's create an interactive simulation. I realized I didn't put the word interactive, but it has interpreted that, which is sort of like, I guess, something that when you think of like models that are Mythos or Fable level models, they are supposed to be way more agentic than the previous set of models, which is what makes them even more capable of doing many things, right? And when I say agentic, it's like reasoning, but also, really using the tools it has at its disposal to the full potential. And here we go. So we have like a speed dial over here. So obviously Mercury is going super fast. And this is maybe, what is that? Labels, and then it's pretty good. Okay, orbits, labels. Right, here we go. So Neptune takes about 165 at low speeds, basically frozen, as you can see here. And then, yeah. So this is interesting. So it's built this. Now, let's actually see how Opus 4.8 does. And I should have taken a timer here, but I'm going to just do this. All right, so now I'm going to try the same thing again with Opus 4.8. also high, and let's see what it comes up with. So it is also going through the same sort of kind of reasoning over here, which Fable 5 did. And if you recall, Fable 5 went through a couple of reasoning steps and then it just put out the full chart. Opus here has reasoned through it, responded to me, and is going through another round of reasoning again, it looks like. So it's also inferred that I would want it to be interactive. So that's great. So, I mean, we already know Opus 1.8 is a really good model. But it looks like it is also picking up on this front-end design skill. And yeah, looks like it's got the front-end design skill going. So it's like really going hard on the front-end stuff, and it's building it out as an HTML interface, which Fable 5 did, but Fable 5 did right away. It just like went straight ahead and built it out. So I wonder, and obviously this is taking a lot longer than Fable 5 right now. So I wonder if it is because it's focusing so much on the design element that it's taking a bit longer. And does that mean it's going to lead to a much better, much more interesting outcome? Let's see. Okay, so it's finally like locked in a visual design, and it's just going to be a UI panel and all sorts of things. So, and it's importing fonts from Google Fonts apparently. So that's interesting. It looked like Opus 4.8 is doing a lot more stuff than Fable. Fable was just very quick and here's your answer, but it did a good job like putting that out. I'm really curious to see now what 4.8 comes with after spending so much time on this task. But the idea, I mean, like technically speaking, Fable 5 is supposed to be a more agentic model than 4.8, meaning it is it's meant to be able to take on longer and more complex tasks and reason through it and use more tools and then like sort of keep going until it like actually achieves the task that you've given it. But here we see Opus 4.8 is finally creating that final. Okay, so here we go. And actually, I think Opus 4.8 has done a much better job here because it has opened this into an artifact, right? And if you can see here, you've got like you still got the speed as well. Labels and orbits, and then you can reset it and start over. And yeah, so like it's kind of like it's definitely like done it really nicely visual. Let's just go back to Fable 5 as a way to recall what it did. So here is Fable 5 again, and you'll notice it's pretty much, I mean, it is almost the same thing really in terms of like what it is, but I do think like Opus spent a lot more time on just getting the design much nicer and built out a full artifact, whereas Fable 5 here just basically create like a interactive sort of simulation inside the chat itself. So inside that kind of like chat canvas here, instead of an entirely new artifact. But obviously it was a lot faster. So, you know, I would say I'd actually give Opus 4.8 a better score over here, but for the fact that it did take a lot longer. So yeah, because like, you know, Opus did focus a lot more on the design and actually got like kind of that 3D sort of look to some of the planets and like the little stripes in Jupiter and Saturn as well. And so I would I think Opus 4.8 did a much better job. And that is actually it's an interesting point here to note as well, because Fable 5 is supposedly a lot better, and let's just say it is. Let's, you know, the benchmarks say it is, and despite this one experiment, let's just say in general it is a lot better of a model. The fact is, Open 4.8 is good, so good that it is good enough for most of the things you're going to need or do. And so you don't really need a Fable 5 level model for a lot of the work you do. In fact, I was speaking to a friend of mine who runs an AI, sort of an engineering team that adopts, like, that uses coding agents to code all of their, all the code. And he said to me, like, we probably aren't going to use Fable at all because, like, you know, when you ask Opus 4.8 to generate code, it generates code, it works, right? And it's to them, it looks good and it works, and, you know, it's not breaking anything. Then why do you need a powerful model? Like, it's not going to get it more, right? Like 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Like whether you ask for Opus or Fable, you'll get the same answer. So you might as well just ask Opus for a cheaper price, right? So anyway, that is kind of like just wanted to show you some of its reasoning ability and coding ability. The other thing I want to do is show you a full setup in Claude Code. This is how we can like determine whether it's like how agentic it is, right? Like how long can you give it a task and how long can it just run and come up with a solution at the end of it. And so I'm actually going to switch over to my terminal here and open up Claude Code. And I'll open up one instance of Fable and one of Opus. All right, so I'm in my terminal, and as you can see here, I have set my model to Fable 5. And so for this here, we're here in my side projects folder, and we're calling it Fable game. And I just want to give it a very basic instruction, tell it go build a game and see what it comes up with. So build me a medieval themed city builder and make it as immersive as possible. Very vague and not a great prompt, to be honest. But let's see what Fable can do by just taking this something very vague like this and then just kind of building everything, whereas versus what Opus does. So I'm just going to give it that command, and then we're going to like just move to accept edits on, and it's just going to accept any edits. And I'm going to go and give Opus 4.8 the same command in a different window. And here I am with a brand new project here called Opus Game, which is using Opus 4.8. Same prompt. Let's see how it does. So I'm actually timing this as well, and I'm just going to like pause it here and come back when it's done. I'm going to have accept edits on so that it just keeps running, and then we'll see what happens. All right, I am back. It has been a bit more than 15 minutes, and Opus has finished first. Fable, for some reason, took a bit to get going, and I think maybe there might have been some API issues for about 5 minutes. So I'll give it like an extra 5 minutes to see what's up. But we've got Realm of Aldermore built and running in my browser, medieval city builder, and just like self-contained in an HTML file, I think, or a set of HTML files. Isometric world, procedurally generated each game. Procedurally modeled buildings, living atmosphere, 4 seasons, a generative medieval score, and my advisor Stuart Cedric, who will help me through the game. And so there's 15 buildings, interlocking economy, drag to paint roads, bulldozer tools, all of that. Let's see if it actually runs. So I'm gonna start here. Realm of Andamore, found your settlement, and wow, here we go. Okay, so this is amazing. First of all, because it looks so great. And I don't know if you can hear that, but there's music playing. Stewart says, our timber stores overflow, build a storehouse. And so I guess that would be a timber house. And I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to paste it right there. That's my timber house. And I'm going to have a cottage over here as well. Maybe you said like a road going, you know? Oh, I might have... oh, there we go. I think I put another house in front of it. So there's my road. This is really cool. Oh no, I put roads everywhere. Demolish the roads here. These are mistakes. There we go. Homes, food, wheat farm. We need some food, I think. So there we go. We got a wheat farm going, and then trade civic. Okay, so I suppose it ticks up, right? Like you've got a day-night cycle and the yearly cycle. And so we've got our people in cottages. We don't have any humans in here, so I don't know what happens. Like, when did they come? Like, we got food, and we've got I think we've got some homes. Now I can't build anything else because I've used up all of my wood. And I don't know if I can. The timber house should be able to. Okay, so it looks very nice, and you can do some things, but clearly there's some flaws in this game that Opus has built. Where obviously there's no way for this to like continuously, there's got to be some like population growth and there's food growth because we've got a farm, but I don't seem to have any people coming in, which is interesting. And I've like moved it past a few days, and no one is coming in. And my little timber hut over here is also not working as it should, because it should be giving me more timber. So the farm is working, but the timber is not working. And so yeah, see, we got some timber back. Yeah. Oh, woodcutter's hut. Okay, there we go. So we get a woodcutter's hut, and there we go. And now we should start getting some wood. Right. So the wood. Okay. So this is working. It calculates the amount of forest nearby. As you can see, 26, 31. So there's 31 forests nearby. And so maybe when we get enough like wood, I'm gonna probably build some more so we can like really speed up the amount of wood we get. And then I suppose we should be building a stone quarry once we have enough wood over here. So pretty good. I think this is good. I'm a little unsure about why that population isn't taking up. So that's kind of like a logical flaw in the game that Opus has created for us. But very good job. Like it just one shot this. Obviously, like it just kept going and finished the entire task in 15 minutes. Now I'm going to check on Fable. Okay, after a long time, I think Fable took maybe half an hour, a little more, and what was it? Opus was maybe 15 minutes. I think Fable took a little more than half an hour, actually, to be honest, but 40 minutes. And that's because it had to go through a bunch of like, it made a few mistakes, and while it was testing, it had to go back and rewrite some stuff. But here we go. We've got a full medieval city builder, um, a full world seated isometric island, yada, 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 all sorts of things, full day night cycle, audio, the game, and population growth mechanics. Let's see if that works. And so on. So, it did take maybe twice as much or longer than Opus, but let's see if it actually works. I can drag to pan, scroll to zoom, 1 or 0 for buildings, and shift click to place several, space to pause, empty mute, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Here we have Hearth and Crown, a medieval chronicle. In the year of our Lord, a weary band of settlers halts upon a green and nameless vale. Here they shall raise their hearths, till the soil, and, God willing, build something that outlasts them all. And it's going to be Ashcombe, and I'm going to found my settlement. And you see that little, oh my God. Oh, this is so beautiful. Oh, wow. The first cottage was raised. Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps. A child was born to the Clements household, hail and loud. Here in the green and nameless vale, Ashcombe was founded. 4 souls, 1 keep, and hope enough to fill the granary. And there you go. That's the 1 keep. And oh my God, looks so beautiful. Okay, all right. So we've got food, but I feel like it's sticking down by here. The population is growing. Let's get a farm going. Let's get a farm going over here. You have people over there. What? All right, we've got some farm and we've got food, and it's growing, ticking up. Amazing. Let's also get some wood cutters going. Can we? No, I can't put it there. The ground here will not serve. It's not a tinder. Maybe here? Where can I put my wood cutter? It is raining now. Whoa, that's insane. Look at that. It's so beautiful. And nightfall and the rain and like everything is just, oh my God. That is amazing. Um, oh no, wait. Oh, I need to clear the land. Wait, don't tell me. Oh, clear the land. And then no, I can't put timber. Oh, the reason is I don't have timber. I don't have timber. Okay, so that's why I can't put more timber. Fell a tree and get some timber. I'm going to fell some trees over here so I can get enough timber, and then I'm going to have a little woodcutter's lodge right there, and boom, I should be able to see some. Oh no, I'm out of timber there as well. So I'm just gonna shift it. Was it shift and drag? Shift. Okay, I'm just gonna clear some trees out here so I can get some wood. But it seems like there's people, like walking around tilling the farms. Yeah, we've got the story going, right? 10 people here. We probably want another cottage, right? So we can start to increase the population. but then the food is going to require it's going to require more food. Um, this is absolutely wild. See if I can break some rock as well. I get more rock, and if I clear the land here, I get more wood. But what I want to really do is try to figure out how does this woodcutter situation work here. Like if I put it right there, does that actually? Yes. So okay, my timber's growing up because I put it closer to the trees. So that's great. Um, yo, this is so good. Okay, so night and day difference between what Opus did and Fable did. And Fable is just like spectacularly good. I'm in shock. Like I gave it one sentence to build, right? And it did all this. Now imagine if I actually worked with it, gave it some more to go on, maybe added some more details and story and all that. Like this in itself is amazing. Now you can see these people go inside the house over there. You can see these people here, I assume, work near the timber. Um, you have like children being born into the Edith and Percival household. The craft of the windmill and arc is now known to your people. And so, okay, now I can build new stuff, right? I can get water and the windmill. Okay, increase the yield of the farm. The market is going to give me more gold. Wow. And once I reach 16 people, I unlock these. Okay, so this is amazing, right? Like it's building a full story around this. Like the graphics, the level of detail here is spectacular, and the fact that I just gave it one small one little sentence. I think I'm happy to say this test has concluded. I think anyone watching this will 100% agree with me that Fable is insanely good. Thank you for watching. Go try out Fable. I did not burn through my token, so at the very least you can build one game in a week. So yeah, go try out Fable. It is spectacular. Obviously, don't do what I did, but give it more context, give it more of what you want, and more and better instructions and data and context, and you're going to be blown away. Thank you for watching.